Don't let your kids watch it!
Welcome everyone to the TheUndercoverBrony Reviews. The episode reviewed today will be My Little Pony: A New Generation, written by Jillian Barrow and Tim Sullivan.
Welcome to season 12 of Vlog Crashers. This is John, ThatJonLusk. I'm back again. I think these guys were doing a vlog, but that's the whole point of the show. So
Yep.
crashing vlogs.
Yeah. So what's up, guys? We're here for My Little Pony: A New Generation. It just came out last week. We're all going to do a big old review of it. And like we saw earlier, we have ThatJonLusk down there. And then we also have Snakeskin 94.
I have one thing to say about the movie Gen 5 and pretty much this whole thing. If you'll just let me let my good friend Dave Mustaine put it best.
It's alive!
Gen 5 is alive, baby. I'm here for it. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Guess
Oh,
who's
man.
Back again. Pony's back. Tell a friend.
Yep.
It's crazy. Do you remember where you were 10 years ago? 10 years ago, you were hearing rumors. You were hearing people talk about, hey, there's this dank new cartoon by Lauren Faust. And you had to remember, Lauren Faust. Wait a minute. Was that Foster? Yeah, that was Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. And wasn't that also the lady from Powerpuff Girls?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh, what's the show? And then they were like, oh, it's the new My Little Pony. And you were like, that's sus, bruh. But then eventually you check it out, and then boom. And here we are 10 years later. Oh, shit, yeah, 10 years later. Look at that.
Yeah.
10 years later, the sequel. And it's literally a sequel. Every gen, they normally just have the same characters and, redo them. But no, this is officially a cinematic. Well, it already was. This is a universe.
Yeah.
that they are building on, and yeah, it's pretty lit.
And I'll tell you this, you were talking about it being kind of sus. I'm thinking My Little Pony was ejected. My Little Pony was not the imposter.
No, it wasn't. My Little Pony wasn't just a crewmate. Point is, there's a lot of shows that came out before and after, well, mostly after, that tried to say they were groundbreaking, broke down barriers. If you ask me, MLP's got to be, Friendship is Magic has to be one of the most boundary breaking thing that had come out in a long old time.
Mm-hmm.
And a show that meant very much to me. And I said this in our predictions. I was like, if they were just going to do the whole thing all over again, same cast, but different whatever, I would have kind of been but when I found out this was a sequel, oh, bro, my nips hardened a bit. I was like, I'm down. I am down with the clown.
Yeah. So let's get this movie started with very unexpectedly a cameo from the main six.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. This opening damn near made me shit myself.
Yeah.
It opens up with the old gang, the main six from Gen 4 in 2D one last time, and they're doing the whole bit. They're going on about friendship and stuff. I could tell right away it felt extra kidified. I'm not saying I knew it was, but yeah. And then, they're all doing the thing. They get lines, and then Rarity goes to say something, and then it's a little boy's voice, and I'm like, or actually, as I wrote here in my notes, and then Rarity turns into a boy.
Yeah. It gets into a monster.
It gets revealed that what we've been seeing of the main six isn't actually the main six, but rather it's a computer simulation run by a secret government splinter cell. Okay, I'm kidding. It's kids playing with dolls. So here we're introduced to two of our heroes for this generation. Well, there's three there, but two of them are like main characters.
Mm-hmm.
Sunny and Hitch, or as I called them, Scootaloo 2 and, James Marston.
Yeah.
And I wrote here, and some fuckboy whose name I didn't get.
Yeah.
I got it later, but yeah.
Yep.
So I gotta say, I got a comment about the 3D right here. I've seen a lot of folks saying it looks a little awkward at times. Sure, But man, I tell you what, that shit was looking pretty.
Especially from like a cinematography standpoint, the lot of those sweeping shots, the camera movements, beautiful.
The cinematic like big like overview shots. I was like, the cinematographer in me was simping a little bit for that.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
I thought it was a super weird choice to cold open with the main six, because like the whole point of this is distancing themselves from the past generation, and to like lean into that, I thought it was a weird choice.
It was one I was stoked with, but like they don't mention the main six by name at all.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was tripping, but I only watched the movie once. But anytime there was a scene where they were like brought up indirectly, I was like paying close attention. And they don't say the words Twilight or Sparkle. They don't say elements.
They do say Sparkle. They do say Sparkle. She says, "My Sparkle is." I don't remember. She said something at the campfire scene.
Yeah. Okay, but yes, you are right. You are right there. But they didn't. But they didn't name drop any of them.
That's true.
And more. I think this is the more egregious thing. They didn't like name drop or go to any cities from the old thing. Like when, like a little later on, or we're gonna get to it, but this is part of a bigger thing for me. When they were going to the Pegasi homeworld, I thought for sure they were going. That it was like, well, you can only go to Cloudsdale, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, they went to
Heights.
They went to Zephyr Heights, which I'm pretty sure was a level in Spyro 2. But yeah, it was interesting because I mean, again, we'll get into this later, but it felt like they wanted to distance themselves, but they wanted to stay attached enough for the story. I don't know. It was really weird. John, what was your like feeling on that? Did it feel a little weird to you how like integral main six was to the plot, but like they also just didn't name them?
Well, I mean, the way they made it sound was that this is not just a few years after G4.
Oh, yeah.
This really feels like it's hundreds, if not thousands of years past G4, and that there's very few ponies left who even know about the main six and old Equestria.
This movie paints it out like the only one that knows is Sunny and her dad, which we get to right here. Sunny and her dad. Let's see what I write here. The initial jump is interesting. The animation's bananas. Oh, here we go. So, wait, hold on. I'm still simping for the animation in my notes. Okay. Oh, I did make a note. So they're not just playing with dolls. They're playing with like, it's figurines of the main six, like they're modeled just like, real life figurines, but they're carved out of wood.
Yeah.
They look fucking nice, dude.
Yeah, they do. And a couple things that I want to mention here is very subtly, but we all know that Sunny and her dad are very much about uniting the races and that they used to be together and all that stuff. There's a couple things here that I noticed that was very, very subtle, but also brought in that they themselves also, in a way, have a subtle form of bigotry.
I noticed that too, and I like that. Because
I love in the shot with the main six, you have Earth ponies take the lead, Pegasi take flight, and unicorns horns at the ready. But do you notice in G4, they would always have them kind of mix and match a little bit. Unicorn and Pegasus, unicorn and Earth pony, Pegasus and Earth pony, that kind of stuff. But here, it's Earth ponies right here, Pegasi right here, unicorns right here. And then even better is when it's doing that shot coming down to where Argyle is doing that painting of the carousel thing. There's a map of Equestria in the background, but it does not show any cities outside of Canterlot, Ponyville, Ghastly Gorge, or Everfree Forest.
Weren't those all Earth Pony locations?
Yeah, you're totally right with that. Nothing with Cloudsdale. Nothing with the Griffinstone, nothing with Yakistan.
You see, Lusk, this is why I like doing a show with him. He catches this shit. I have to watch like 40-minute analysis YouTube videos to find that. But yeah, no, and speaking of subtle bigotries, they get into that a little later, but I like that. Then Sunny gets upset because the fuck boy, which is a red pony, and she's
the
upset.
Ken Jeong pony, Sprout.
I actually, weirdly enough, did not recognize Ken Jeong's voice, and I felt really bad because I've watched that guy since the first Hangover.
Yeah.
So Sunny is upset because Sprout.
Wait, which one was Ken Jeong?
The Sprout. The red guy.
Really?
Older. Yes. Yeah, older Sprout was Ken Jeong. I didn't recognize him.
I don't look up cast voices because I hate because then I'll just hear the celebrity talking. So I don't look up any of that. I only know that James Marsden was in it. So
yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with that though, because James Marsden is just great. He's had to. That guy's had to put up with a lot of crap for a long time and pay his dues. I'm glad that pretty much since that Sonic movie, people are finally like, you know what, you're all right, James. You're all right, guy from Hop, or was it Your Rabbit?
He's another.
Yeah.
So I wrote here, Sunny is upset because Sprout believes, and John and viewers, I'm not exaggerating. She's upset because Sprout believes in misinformation told to him by his teacher, in which, according to her teacher, the unicorns are monsters that fry their brains with lasers and eat earth ponies. And then she runs down the stairs and she's basically like, Dad, tell them that isn't true. So then the dad, whose name is Argyle, like John said earlier, goes to send them home. And then Sprout's mom shows up. I assumed that was their teacher because I felt like that was what was implied. Am I wrong in that?
No, the way it's presented to, at least to me in the movie, is that she's just a typical CEO of the Canterlogic factory.
Dude, she's a girl boss.
One thing I thought was weird about that is like there's like a line where they're like, she's been keeping us stylish for the last 20 moons, and I'm like, do you mean she's only had this job for 20 days? Like, what does 20 moons mean? Like,
moons meant something different in Friendship is Magic. I feel like it did. I thought the way they used moons, it was more like months.
Yeah. Okay. So from what I understand, moons was supposed to reference the lunar cycle, which is about 28 days.
Right.
So in that aspect, it'd be about 20 months.
That's not that long.
But still, that's like less than 2 years.
8 months.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
You know what's funny about that to me? That reminds me of like when this one episode during season 4 of Gen 4. I forget what it was. I think it was the premiere or something. And they just casually mentioned that it had been like, not even a year between the season 1 premiere and that. And everybody was just like, wait, what the hell? It's only been like 100 days or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine all the shit that happened in those 3 seasons happening to you in like, what is that, 4 months? Oh, I would have pulled my damn hair out.
Yep.
So Argyle goes to send them home, but then Sprout's mom shows up. And she's basically like, I told you not to wander off anywhere, especially not here. So then the dad confronts her, Argyle, and he's like, why not? Why can't they come here? And then she says, you're brainwashing the kids. And he says, nah,
you are.
I leave the brainwashing to you.
Yeah.
Okay. I paused the movie at that exact moment. At this point, we're about 3 minutes and 30 seconds into this film. And already themes expressed in the movie are revisionist history, implicated social segregation, and a corrupt education system that spreads things that the audience knows are lies to children and promotes separation through fear tactics. And when they leave, Sprout, the little kid, tells his mom, and I swear to God or whatever everyone else's equivalent is that they do or don't subscribe to. He says, as my witness, word for word, "Don't worry, mommy. When I'm sheriff, I'll keep everyone in line."
Yeah.
Oh my God. I laughed for like 2 solid minutes. Oh my God. And 2 things went through my head. One, this is fucking great. I thought I'm in for a good time. And then I wrote down here, what the fuck is this? Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah.
The current world order system with the education, it just feels like the fucking Patriots. It feels post-apocalyptic, but it's not. It's post-friendship. It's like this movie is already like the MLP equivalent of postmodernism, and it's post-friendship, and I'm really here for it.
One thing that
the revisionist history, man.
Yeah.
That's just straight up what it is. I love it.
This is America.
I think is a problem with like recognizing that the main cyst exists, and I guess like toys are mass produced possibly of them. Related story, like I don't know if you saw this. You can barely see it because the lighting is so dark, and if you pause Netflix, it brings up the stupid thing that frames it and kind of darkens the screen. But there's a Spike doll in her bedroom on the floor beside her bed.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that.
It's like about that big, like in like in the world or something. So like it's quite a sizable doll. And I think the problem in like recognizing that the main six exists is that it like assumes that all the same rules apply. So like if you're like trying to really reboot it, then you have inconsistency errors that are going to pop up.
Yeah, that was the interesting thing. It was a weird thing where like, and I'm not trying to give the movie too much credit here, but it felt like this movie was expecting you to have watched Gen 4 so that when you see things happening in the movie, you're supposed to feel like, wait a minute, wait a gosh darn minute, it's not supposed to be this way.
Exactly.
I'm sure some of that to a degree is intentional, but you know.
Yeah. Okay.
So after they leave, she's bummed out. And because the kids don't share her idealistic worldview, and her dad makes her feel better. They play for a bit. It's really cute. And then at night, they write. She writes a little letter that basically says something to the effect of, "Hey, multiracial ponies, come hang out. We'll watch football.
Yeah,
we'll watch Skip Sheffield suck Dak Prescott's dick for 8 hours." And then she's like, "Tell me the story again, and tell me the story about the shepherd." And so he tells her how all the nations used to live in harmony, but everyone doesn't anymore. She's like, "Why?" And then he's basically like, "I don't know, give it like 45 more minutes of screen time." But the key is they put that letter in like a lantern, like the ones from Tangled, and they jettison it high up into the air, never to be seen again. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So then, yes, now the time skip. Oh, can I mention her dad? Her dad's a really cool guy, but man, with those sideburns and glasses, homeboy looks like he's ordering like a decaf macchiato at Starbucks.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah. Oh, and we get the catchphrase for this movie: "We'll do our part, hoof to heart."
Yep, indeed.
So yeah, time skip.
Yeah, so then it skips ahead 10 years to when Sunny is a full-grown mayor, and she's still sleeping in her childhood bedroom, which I think is super adorable. She has the whole thing where she has braided hair now and everything like that, and she's writing something, and she's like, "This is perfect." She folds it up, puts it in her saddlebag, and I know we talked about this during the screenshot analysis with the G5 hype video.
Yeah,
but I still have to love that she has those buttons on her thing that have Twilight, Fluttershy, and Rainbow Dash on there, which is super awesome.
So I guess
do Wendigos is that not a thing?
Okay, you know what? I figured we'd have this conversation at the end, but we might as well have it now. Where is everybody?
I mean,
where Smash Ultimate, everyone is here. Gen 5, no one is here. Where are the yaks? Where are the hippogriffs? The griffins? Where are the buffaloes? Where are the dragons?
To me,
there's too much to cover in like 90 minutes, probably.
Oh no, for sure, and I totally understand that. But like, we don't even know if they're going to have a full-on show. They're supposed to be an animated series, I think.
I was wondering about that.
But all I know for sure is that there's supposed to be a special coming out next spring and another special, I think, coming out next fall. But I don't even know if they're doing a full-on series. I thought they were. I hope they are. But
yeah. Well, here's what I'm thinking. It seems to me they're almost like Force Awakens sort of doing it, where it's like a soft reboot, even though it takes place in the same universe.
It was number one on not Amazon, on Netflix this week, so like that's probably a good sign as far as the future goes.
Yeah, the movie had a lot of positive reception, and it's MLP, so especially with these new character designs, this shit's gonna make money.
Oh yeah.
But I just hope that I hope Hasbro just gives me more of this, because listen, if they're gonna have the Mount Rushmore sized testicles to keep the Equestria setting into the next generation, and they're gonna tell you that, hey, a race war maybe happened or something, you better give me a series. I want and I don't mean just like, oh, we're going to do 65 episodes for syndication and then see where it goes. No. I want like Gundam, like 40 long seasons. Okay. Episode long seasons. Okay. Sunny wakes up. Everyone's, she's stoked. Already we can see a bunch of different contrasts and similarities between her and Twilight, which I really find interesting. The only big things I can think of is that, they both live and start off in a tower-ish. They both read books-ish, and they're both purple-ish. Like I'm emphasizing the ish because and the other thing I really like is that the contrast of their characters. Twilight was antisocial and thought friends were a waste of time, but Sunny is like social and wants friends and isn't as socially awkward. So I think the dynamic there is really good.
And then we go into her going into town and having the first song of the movie, which to me was my third favorite of the movie. I love
gonna be my day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. Honestly, I think it's quite good. I think musically with this song alone, especially with songs we hear later, you can tell they're trying to set them apart from Gen 4-ish. Now, maybe they're gonna change it up as time goes on, but I felt whereas Daniel Ingram went for a lot of like simple sounding music that once you dissect it, there's a lot of depth to it, and like took influence from a bunch of different genres, but also classical pieces. The Gen 5 songs seem to be much more, I don't know how else to say it. They seem a bit more pop oriented, like from what we heard with the songs, but they're like weirdly proggy too. It's weird.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people complaining about like the more pop style songs used. I think the most glaring is the Pipp song.
Oh god, that song was horrible.
Oh, shut up. That song was, oh wait, you say Pipp?
Yeah,
the Pipp
when she's like on the wires.
Up. I'm just like, oh, shut up.
Okay. I thought you said the Izzy song later. I was gonna be like,
No, that song's great.
Yeah.
But listen, if you don't like Sophie Carson, you're probably not going to like that song because that's just a Sophie Carson song as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah. that's the voice actress for Pipp.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, I liked it. What I liked about this song, it's partially an I Want song, but I feel like and there's bits of world building. I like it because I feel like it's also it's like an I am song. Like this song is very much talking about her like in the present tense. And that's what I liked about it. She already knows who she is. She knows what she wants to do and what she's going to do. And yes, we don't know how things play out with yet, but neither does she, but she's optimistic about it. And throughout the song, she's being chased by Sprout throughout town. And I'm looking at the architecture of this town and Maretime, what's it called? Maretime Bay?
Yeah.
Did this not look like San Francisco? Maybe it's the cable cars that make me think that, but it just looks like San Fran, dude.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
But yeah, anyway, yeah, but Lusk, what'd you think of the song overall?
Of that song?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought the intro song was It was fair. Like, I mean, I wasn't like, oh my God, this is the best song in the movie. I thought the best song in the movie came later. But no, I thought that it was a good song. I thought that most of the songs, aside from at least I think the first song, the song with the two see, I have the name of it. I'm Looking Out for You song. I thought that and then the Izzy song later all seemed closer to like G4 music than the rest of the music in the film.
I could see that.
And so I think I gravitated to liking those songs more.
Yeah.
No, I yeah. So, like I said, throughout the song, we get a lot of shots of this new city. And obviously, this movie is going for a more modern aesthetic. Like, the best way I can describe it, for just in case anyone hasn't seen the movie and you just want to hear quirky people talk about it, imagine, like, let's say Equestria is like high fantasy, okay, that with, you know, some touches of other things here and there. This felt more like akin to urban fantasy, not a dark color palette like urban fantasy. You know, this isn't this is going to be a nerdy joke. It's not a Jim Butcher book, but no, it reminds me of urban fantasy. You know, Gen 4 is Brandon Sanderson. This is Jim Butcher.
And you know,
that was for all my book selling peeps out there.
Yeah, there's also the fact that, you know, we're talking about the difference between high fantasy and urban fantasy. This very much feels like The Legend of Korra versus Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That was the first thing I thought of, and I didn't want to say it because fuck Korra. The show's all right, but it just felt funny to say.
Yeah,
but because I feel like Korra is kind of like the biggest, like the most one of the like best, but also just most remembered examples of this thing of you have a thing and then you sequelize it and then it's more modern. I think a lot of people go to Korra for that because it was so prominent. But yeah, so
exactly. Yeah, so then we get to the fact that, you know, Hitch is right in front of the Canterlogic building, and Hitch has this weird thing where animals just gravitate towards him. So you have these two seagulls, one with the like a can on its head, and then a freaking crab. And he goes down and he's like, man, these crabs, I can't get rid of them. Guys, give Hitch a little space. And they just
yeah,
that was great. I was reading up on TV tropes that a lot of these characters are have two, usually most of them have like two qualities or two of the main six like things in them. Like Hitch, right? His whole thing is he's like part Applejack, part Fluttershy. He's Applejack in sense of work ethic and Fluttershy in terms of animal connectivity. I mean, there's other little more things that justify that, and then with other characters too. I mean, obviously Zipp is just Rainbow Dash, but with a better I don't know about better personality, but a nicer personality.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, as if to prove my point about the urban fantasy thing. Yeah, Canterlogic. I get it. So she calls him sheriff, and this establishes he's sheriff of the town. And I realized this is now the second sheriff I have seen James Marsden play.
Yep.
And he has in tow with him the animals, and he's basically, and he tells her, because her plan is to go in there because there's a big thing going on, and she wants to. Well, he basically says, "Look, Bucko, don't go in there and try to unify the masses again," because I guess she's tried this every year for a while now. And she's like, "No, bro, I'm here to drop off smoothies," because during that whole song, she had like a cart with her. And yeah, they didn't say it in the song, but I guess she does smoothies. And then it's revealed that Sprout, the red pony, who didn't make sheriff, is a deputy, and he was supposed to keep an eye on her because it's this time of year. Because, like I said, she goes into the tech conglomerate building to raid their digital marketing conference, and in fact she's banned from the building. So Hitch tries to tell her to leave. She's like, okay. And then Sprout walks away. But literally, as soon as they both walk away, she just walks in the building. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and I do like how, Hitch walks away, and then she looks back and Sprout's there, and he's just like, bye. That is great.
So we go inside, and I have to question the architectural decisions going on here.
Mhm.
The factory is a factory, but it's also a showroom.
Yeah.
Because they have a stage in there. And the lady we saw earlier that was giving Argyle a hard time, I guess she's the CEO.
And Sprout's mother.
Yeah, Sprout's mom. That's important. She comes on and says, we create perfect products to protect perfect ponies like you from ponies like that. And she shows like a scary artist rendition of a Pegasus and unicorn. And she says, to be scared is to be prepared. And bruh, they do like a full-on fashion show. They got the walkway.
Yes.
People are strutting down it, and so they're showing off tech, bro.
Yeah.
And this one mare comes down. She's wearing an anti-mind reading helmet. Another one comes down with these big ass goggles. They're called the Pegasus Periscope to help catch them in the sky. And then the Earth Pony, there's the Earth Pony escape pack. And hey, bro, you like the movie Up? It's a backpack that unleashes a crap ton of balloons that escapes you, I guess. And escapes you. Yeah, and then the pony demoing them flies out of the window to his demise, I assume.
And become like a recurring gag throughout the film.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm watching this. I'm like, bro, what is this? What is this pre-Y2K America fear-mongering bullshit? This is like when in 99 they were trying to sell people these high-tech flashlights and all these like storage containment units.
Yeah. And let me tell you, the pony that has the balloon backpack thing, the dude is either trans or a drag queen. They just had that look about them. Just saying.
Oh man, I'm just saying, between all the fear mongering and this, I feel like I'm in a time machine. Because this is giving me flashbacks to when I was a kid and the war on terror was going on, and we were still convinced and the people were still convinced we were the good guys. What I'm trying to say is I really like this. I like this a lot. I don't even know why I like this. I feel like if it was any other thing, it would probably just be done bad. But Hasbro, man, they hire people that know what they're doing.
Exactly.
So, and to further emphasize the whole sheeple thing, they even have a bit where the CEO says, "And we care about our customers," and the crowd goes,
"Oh,
yeah." Yo, and then they start doing all these different tests where it's this dummy pony, but Sunny comes up and knocks it out of the way, and it's like, Earth Pony is a maritime bay. Friendship is the right way to do things, and fear and mistrust are not the right things. But they were but before, Phyllis was just just beware, this is fully automated. And then she's becoming the test dummy. So she's having stuff being, flown at her. She's having these iron boots from Zelda and shit like that. And I gotta say, when she's being brought around the room, and they have that splatterpult going, it has a camera shot of her face, and she's just cease fire. I love it.
I have a couple things to say about that. First off, the unicorn entrapment device is a really funny visual gag where they just put a box around you and your horn is sticking out, which I love that.
That's
block.
However, it's shown later to be surprisingly easy to disarm because you just go and pop the button on the side and it's which I thought was great. But the other thing was when they're throwing all the goo things or whatever, I was like, more GAC product placement? What the hell is this?
Oh my God.
If you don't, I didn't catch this until the second watch, but like there's a point which to me I like paused the movie and rewound it and was like, what? Like there's a spot where like the gack, I'm gonna call it gack at this point, hits the camera.
Yes,
Like, what are the implications of this? Is there a film? Like, are they like a film crew is filming this movie in the world? Like, why did that? And it's so split second that it's like barely even happens. And I was like, did that actually just happen?
Yes.
Yeah. What the hell?
I think that's meant to be the equivalent of like when you're playing a video game and you're like going through dirt and then the camera gets dirty.
Yeah. Oh, flashback of Cruising USA when you're in the Midwest section and you have the cockpit view and all you get is just flies just splattering on your screen.
Or like in Metal Gear Solid where there's like water and then the camera gets wet because Kojima loves movies.
Yeah.
So like, bro, there's being on the nose.
Yeah.
This is not on the nose. This is inside the nose.
Mm-hmm.
The whole nostril, the whole fist is just right up in the nostril.
Yeah.
You know what I wrote here? I was like, yo, Sunny Justice Warrior.
Yeah.
Dude, she had a sign. She had like a unicorn. She was wearing like a unicorn horn and had some fake wings. And she was like, peace with Pegasi.
Yeah.
Unity with unicorn. Oh, that weapon thing with the gack, that was called the Splatapole. Dude,
right.
I remember when season 3 debuted and Everfree Radio got so triggered by everybody making gack jokes, they actually like banned the word. And like and if you said it, they took away your commenting privileges for a while.
Wow.
Yeah. So Sunny tries to talk to the people again. She's getting swung around the entire military industrial complex. And she's basically trying to tell them, hey man, living a life of fear is super duper lame, and that and this and that. And basically, and this is a quote, it's all a big lie. You have corporate lady being a corporate lady and using propaganda to sway the people. And Sunny is like, but we aren't in danger. And the corporate lady's like, yes, we are. And everyone's like, yeah, boo, Pegasus, whatever. The people reject her. She gets taken out. And Hitch is like, dude, what the hell? You broke like every law. He literally asked her, he's like, do you know how many laws you broke? She's like, I'm sure you're going to tell me. He's like, no, I can't even because you broke so many. And she's like, bro, you got to get my back. And he's like, I am the sheriff. he's like, and then this is when things get kind of serious. He's like, those old stories that your dad told you were just made up by him. See, that's the thing. He says by him. He doesn't say something like, you know, stories of legends or old fairy tales. So that's what this movie weirdly paints it out like only Argyle and Sunny know who the main six are. That's what left me weird. I'm sure, you know, as things go on, suddenly a bunch of people are going to be like, oh, I heard the stories of Twilight Sparkle, but I thought they were just the fairy tales or something. I don't know.
One of the other things that, you know, in that same vein that it really started to get me more invested in the movie was when Hitch was just like, look, I'm one of the last friends you have in this town. You really want to lose me too? Like, oh, wow.
I wrote here, ouch, with like 4 H's.
Yeah.
I feel like normally I would have sympathized with Hitch, and I do, don't get me wrong, because the guy is clearly a good guy just doing his job. But I don't know, something about that. I think it's because it's so like anti like MLP formula. I feel like if this was Gen 4, they would have worded that differently. Something to the effect of like, you know, oh, you're like the only real friend I have, or like, you know, you and I have been friends for so long, you know. But he's like, I'm the only friend you have. I kind of like that. I kind of like how, I'm not saying it feels more grown up, but no, they did something different. They're communicating to you, hey, you guys are friends, but the shit is strained.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's this really nice shot where she sits all sad on the bench, and they leave it like there for a while, just her back looking at the water.
Like 7 to 10 seconds just silence.
Yeah, which is good because that shows you that little bit to me showed that this team cares just as much as Gen 4, because Gen 4 would do things like that sometimes, and I really appreciated that. So then camera holds on her, ponies start running by, and everyone's like, holy shit, and then you see a big monster approaching from the shadows, and then the monster walks up to Sunny, and it's Izzy.
Hi, new friend. I have to say,
with the best looking hair in the whole movie. Oh my god!
And outside of Zipp, which ironically became my favorite character of the movie. Anyway, going back to
says the guy wearing a Rainbow Dash shirt.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I got this from the MOP box. I can't not wear it.
So she shows up and she's like, hey, and everyone's like, ah. And Hitch, oh my god, Hitch activates the town's defense mechanism. You remember those boxes we were talking about earlier? Yep. They're spread throughout the town at tactical locations like fucking landmines.
They're just like arbitrarily like put throughout the town. It's like,
I know.
There's one. Box. Oh, what? There's one over there. So it's crazy.
Oh my
tactical
god.
Box incoming.
I just know tactical box. Oh man, Metal Gear Solid invented the tactical box. So I just know that Sunny is stoked to see a unicorn, so she helps Izzy evade law enforcement. It's hilarious because if you look at the Splatapult as like an actual weapon, there really is a point. There's a place in town, they're firing 2 of them at them, and they're just basically avoiding gunfire. That's like that thing we were talking Lust was talking about earlier, where he was like the gack ball hit the camera, and they're just like boom, 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 boom. It's hitting cars, it's hitting walls. I thought it was a war zone.
And it's funny how you both went to video games for that, though. I think you were saying like one of you said Call of Duty, maybe or something.
Yeah.
The other one's Cruising USA or something like that. Yeah. I went to like. Maybe like Saving Private Ryan or like
I was thinking that too.
The Revenant. I remember in The Revenant, there's like a big water splash on the screen, and I'm like, what? Like, why is what? No, like, I'm always of the camp that I think that's weird when you're like, hey, this movie takes place in 1700s and there's a water splash on the camera, and I'm like, so like I was not on board.
It's for immersion.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it? They're taking you out.
Okay, listen. In video games, it's immersion.
Yeah. Okay. In video games,
it's live action. It's 50-50.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that. That's a very good assessment of that.
Well, one of the other things that I love, and this is, some of the background details while this whole thing is going on, Izzy is approaching a theater that has references to Terminator 2, Jaws,
Judgment Day, dude, Judgment
Day. Judgment Day,
horns, Dirty Prancing, and Harry Trotter.
Something called Harry Trotter. I'm not sure what that's a reference to.
No, I know. That one seemed a little on the nose.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but
I gotta wonder if they're doing Harry Trotter, who's gonna play them? Like you would think that a movie with magic, they would want to have a unicorn for that role, but it's an Earth Pony town.
No. You have to do it like this. In a world where magic exists, but also doesn't, but also does. Or something. So yeah. No, the Saving Private Ryan, whenever I see like a war scene or something reminiscent of that, I always try to avoid thinking of Saving Private Ryan, because don't get me wrong, it's a great movie, wonderful movie. But sort of like with the Deadpool Pinkie Pie Harley Quinn thing, and with the core thing, it's like the go-to thing people think of. Like, did you guys ever see Sausage Party, where they just straight up like replicate that scene but with the food?
No, that's
okay. Mama. So Izzy sees the theater. I wrote here, The fact that they went with a Terminator thing was actually genius, because Judgment Day's the second one, and in that one, Arnold is a bad guy that becomes a good guy, which the other pony races become good guys to the Earth ponies. I don't know. I know. Grasping at straws. So, what's her name? Izzy gets stuck in a box. Sunny busts her out, and they go to her house. There's a funny little scene where Hitch is like, let's go after them. And then Sprout gets himself captured.
Yep. Oh, no, I'm in the box.
Yeah.
So this is where John over here brought up earlier how there's some subtle bigotries on Sunny's part. That comes into play because even though she's a social justice pony, okay, listen. So when I was writing the Sunny Justice Warrior thing, I thought, wait, what would be funnier, Sunny Justice Warrior or Social Justice Pony? So I said, fuck it. I put them both in the notes.
That's good. I like that.
Got to have your cake and eat it too, boys, especially if you're the one baking it. So, ooh, that's pretty good. I'm gonna put that on a shirt. So even though she's a social justice pony, she believes some of the propaganda about the unicorns, specifically the mind reading and laser brain frying. She's like, can you levitate this? And I think they had this in the trailer.
Yep.
Yeah, she throws a can at her and she's like, yo, levitate this. And she's like, no, but I could do this. She bounces on her horn. And
all I could say is beach.
Yeah, no, I said the same. I really wrote here. I wrote beans in all caps with like 8 S's.
Yep.
And then ta-da, and it's a little thing, and I hate to be nitpicky, but sometimes when characters would say or do something, they would like hold certain things for too long. And when she did that ta-da, it felt like she did the ta-da a little longer than she probably should have, and like because of that, it felt like Pinkie Pie, because that's what she would have done. Again, it's a nitpick, but it's just tiny little things like that get my mind going. So then Hitch shows up at the house and he's like, you're under arrest. And they're able to get away. And she's like, damn, a unicorn with, because Izzy's like, yeah, I don't have any magic. And she's like, what? You got no magic? And then Izzy starts sniffing Sunny.
Yeah, because they get out of Maretime Bay and she sniffs Sunny. And Sunny's like, what are you doing? You don't smell bad. Thanks. What? Yeah, I was told that Earth ponies smelled like rotten sardines, but you do not.
She asked, well, what else do they say about us? And they're like, oh, that you're lazy and dumb.
Charming. Oh, no, that's just 3.
So Sunny is like, yo, let's go to Pegasus Land. And then Izzy is like, yo, let me sing about it. Then they sing their friendship song.
No, seriously, they were this close to each other.
A lot of the movie, they're like that.
Yeah.
They were so close. I'm like, is this Starlight and Trixie's wagon right now? What's going on? So listen, I think my issue with this song is I would have liked it more, but it came too early. I feel like they should have had some more time together and maybe even had moments of distrust even. But then it's like, no, I got your back. We got to count on each other. But because that's my thing. So I really think musically it's pretty good. And there's a lot of good vocal melodies and hooks going on here. That's what, and that I like that. Just came maybe like 20 minutes too early, but it was probably a thing. I don't know if they could have put it later because they would have put too many songs close together. Right. But they probably also felt that, okay, we need to find a way to make time pass and also make these two bond, but we can't put this song too later. So that's what I think happened. But I really think the song's fine, just came too early.
Yeah. And I'll say this, then it switches over to the next scene where Sprout finds out, hey, since Hitch is going on a solo mission, you're the new sheriff in town. And this is something that comes up as a recurring plot point, at least with lines for Sprout in the movie. But the dude has some serious mommy issues.
Yeah, like, it's real cringy. Ugh. It's like so cringy.
Come on, mommy. I'm like, oh my god. No.
Okay. Listen. Your boys read Freud. Okay, so I'm down. And I even read his successors too. Who was the one that was basically like, I forget the guy that came up with the idea. Yeah, Freud might have been right, but hey, check out Electra Complex. Yeah. But anyway, So I'm down with mommy and daddy issues. I really am, because think about it. It messes with people. So it always kind of, when I got older, because, it's one of those things. Oh, so-and-so has daddy issues. So-and-so has mommy issues. Oh, Titus from Final Fantasy X has daddy issues.
Yeah.
It's like, do you not? Because, I mean, that stuff really messes with people. It basically ruins your life and worldview. So I was down with that, because they actually, they didn't expand on it as much as I wish they would have, I'll admit. But they did some interesting things with Sprout and his mom here. My one thing, him calling her mommy, that was the cringe.
Yeah.
It was the way he said it. If he would have just been like, all right, mommy, or it was like, yes, mommy. But no, Ken Jeong made sure every time to go, mommy, just to make him look like a bitch.
I feel like it doesn't just stop there, though. I just feel like that character is so lazily written. It's infuriating to see him on the screen.
It's infuriating because there's a good idea there, but they didn't fully realize it.
But
I think there's a good idea.
Tommy Wiseau had a lot of great ideas too.
Yeah.
Oh my! I'm gonna jump through this screen, and you're getting tombstoned. Through the Hell in the Cell cage. By the way, you guys didn't really.
I'm getting a pizza delivered through the screen. What is this? Back to the Future Part 2?
What is this? Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
What is this? H.G. Wells's The Time Machine, classic literature.
I will say, while we're talking about they're in the police station and like the I guess the transfer of power is happening or whatever. There are two things that I wanted to point out. One of which is apparently in the background when he's at the deputy desk, Sprout is at the deputy desk. There's a little certificate behind them that says Customer of the Month. And then there's a little tiny donut in the corner, and he's a cop. So he's like the Customer of the Month at the donut shop.
Oh my God.
I thought, because I was like,
that's great. They worked in a donut joke without telling you a donut joke.
Yeah. I was watching it today for a second to take notes, because we watched it. We had like a meetup last week with like 10 people. I have a big screen at our house that we project to. So
nice.
We were watching it today, and I was like pausing it and looking for things. And I was like, there's a Customer of the Month. What is that for? And then like in the very corner, it's like cut out. There's a desk lamp, and it's in front of it. And there's like the top of a donut. And I'm like, he's the Customer of the Month at the donut shop. What?
I love that. I love that.
And then the calendar.
Yes.
There's a calendar with more hitches.
Okay, so
the first one, he's like a George Michael cop. The second one, he's a firefighter. The third one, I'm
with
like,
burn marks, I might add.
Yeah. The third one, I'm like, is he a Guido mechanic? Like, what is this third one?
That was one of the best parts of the movie, because the setup is.
Is it a Village People joke? Because he's a sailor in the last one.
Listen, if they're gonna reference the Big Lebowski, I'm pretty sure they're gonna reference the Village People. It's like be like da, 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 young Colt. You don't have to be something. I don't remember what's young Colt.
And by the way, when Sprout is ripping out the pages, I love how he's talking about stupid Hitch with your chisel labs and your paid off mortgage.
Oh yeah, no, that's great.
Your paid off mortgage?
That's what
that
he
was
said.
A line?
Yeah, so what I was going to say, what happens is
that's a fantastic line.
Hitch comes in and he's like, Sprout, let's go on an adventure. And then Sprout's like, yeah. He's like, fine, I'll go catch Sunny myself. And he literally says, don't start a war while I'm gone, which I found funny later. But yeah, he's like, man, everyone loves Hitch. And as he's saying things, he's ripping off pages of that calendar Lust was talking about. And he's just like, with his perfect mane, shredded abs, paid off mortgage.
That's a fantastic line that I totally missed.
You gotta figure, Hitch has got to be like, these guys seem like what, almost close to 20s ish, and he's already paid off a mortgage on his house. Like, yo, I don't mean to sound rude, but Sprout, you suck. Hitch is a Chad. Sprout is a perma-virgin compared to him.
You know why he doesn't have any money left? He's producing bobbleheads of himself as a dictator in the course of 2 days.
Yep.
That takes a lot of R&D.
Yep.
See, when you put it like this, it's like, bro, how can you not at least find Sprout entertaining? And what I like is that, and the thing I like about it is that they make him whiny, but they make up for. It's like when you play Dark Souls and the reward is beating the boss. The reward for putting up with Sprout is that he's the butt of a lot of physical comedy. So
exactly.
that happens. So yeah, then his mom's like, "Hey, you're the person in power. It's your destiny. I think she says that later, but that's what she
say density?
Destined.
It's Back to the Future joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
God damn it. So
they have pizza. They have pizza in this office too.
Yes.
They didn't have pizza in the other show, right? Did they ever have pizza?
John, photographic memory. Did they ever have pizza?
I don't think so.
Well, apparently in the 1,000 years since Twilight Sparkle bit the dust, they've invented pizza. And electrical sockets, which we did not point out earlier.
Yes.
That's right.
They run on electricity.
Current. They use alternating current in this pony generation.
They use AC/DC rock and roll.
Yeah, dude. They use the power of rock and fucking metal, dude. So Sunny and Izzy,
especially that Rob guy from the Mob song.
Oh my god, yeah.
Anyway,
my name's Rob.
Yeah.
So Sunny and Izzy, we cut to them. They're in a scary mountain place, and Izzy is like, "Dude, did you know Pegasus steal your luminescence?" And when I first heard the word luminescence, I thought I heard the word quintessence, which made me think of Voltron Legendary Defender, and I got pissed.
Oh, no crossovers today. I'm sorry. Only the Transformers can do that.
Yeah.
This is a Hasbro property.
Yep.
So then all of a sudden from the shadows, they hear and see things. There's noises. There seems to be something stalking them. They get back to a corner, climb up to the top. There's been something like darting back and forth between the rocks. And then, they make it to the top. And then the Pegasus that was stalking them jumps up in the sky, unfurls their wings. They're just like, "Sup, bro?" This is Zipp, by the way.
Yeah. Toothpaste pony or Colgate pony.
No, but the last gen had Colgate.
Yeah. This one's Crest Pro White Pony.
This is Crest.
Pro White? What kind of show is this? This is for children. This is not okay, John.
You're
literally white.
Children. You're brainwashing the children. So then guards come and she leaves. We get her talking to them. Oh, this day just got more. Let's think about Zipp. Half her lines just felt like they were meant to be put in the trailer. Like the flow from "you guys aren't Pegasi" to where, "Oh, this day just got a lot more interesting." I'm like, it just felt abrupt, and I'm like, was that line just for the trailer?
Or like the one where she's like, "You just went from sheriff to detective," or whatever.
Oh yeah, no, from detective to sheriff, I think.
Yeah. No, it's the other way.
No, it's just a detective. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Look at that. The sheriff just became a detective.
Sound very soundbite, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then guards come. It's the guards from the screenshot. There's a blue one and a green one. Turns out the green one's a gal.
Yes, and I was right. That green one definitely was trying to look determined, but could not because they are a new recruit.
You were right. You called that. Then the guards are like, "Oh shit! It's an earth pony and unicorn." So the wimpy one's like, but the girl pony is like all strong. She comments how earth ponies have tiny brains, and she's like, "Do you have the anti-unicorn device?" And the rookie's like, "What?" And she's like, "I got this." We cut away to the next scene. There's a fucking tennis ball.
It's the best
on Izzy's horn. It's really, really, really good.
It's really good.
It's really good. I'll agree. It is the best. It's really
it is the best, right?
Oh,
and
man.
then she reacts to it like it's the best as well, which makes it even better.
It's good. So they take them on an elevator, and we see Zephyr Heights, Pegasus City. So I wrote here, I was hoping they'd go to Cloudsdale, but this place is cool too. But bro, I damn near lost my mind. There was the first thing I see in this big tech cloud cuckoo lander city is a big corporate sign that just says
Pony for Sony. Yeah. I wrote down every one that I could identify.
The better one. You have that T-Mobile one where it's the pink Z Heights. But then the best one out of the whole thing, ZBS.
Dude, it's just the CBS logo. It's literally just the CBS logo. And it says CBS. And I'm like, you guys didn't even try to make it different. It's the goddamn CBS logo. But you just put a Z at the front of it. What the hell is that?
No, it's an homage. It's a reference.
So I wrote down a list of everything that I could identify. I got
please.
Sony logo is Pony.
Yeah.
CBS is ZBS, and I wrote basically exactly the same logo. There's McWings, which is clearly McDonald's. Maybe it could be McDougal's from Coming to America. I'm not sure. And then there's the iPhone Apple silhouette, but I couldn't read it because it was always like too far off screen. But they had like that like black silhouette of a person on like a big green thing and like tiny white text. There was Pony Phone for Vodafone, Z Heights for T-Mobile, something called the Zeus Watch. Do you guys know what that's a reference to?
No.
It looked like maybe
it's a reference to the Apple Watch.
No. It looked like maybe like Rolex or Timex or something.
Yeah.
But I couldn't be sure. Seiko maybe? I'm not sure. But I couldn't figure that one out. And then there was the USPS logo with Pegasus there, which I think is actually on a lot of fan merchandise. I don't know if it was ever like canon. And then
it is now.
Yeah, there's something called Amplify that looked kind of like Spotify. There was whatever TikTok, Instagram thing Pipp used, which my biggest question was, why do her streams go straight to ZBS? Because she's like, let me pull out my phone and get onto Instagram or TikTok or whatever. It's like, because currently on CBS.
There's a way to spin this to make it something it's not, but make it sound like it totally is. Because Pipp is royalty, which makes her the daughter of a politician, and politicians are best friends with corporations.
Yeah.
Donald Trump loves Twitter. You're right. Okay. So then there was an advertisement for something called Perfume Le Pipp, which was kind of like,
oh my God,
I guess
they even had that little commercial thing.
They did the commercial. Like, was that like?
Okay, hold on. Let me scroll down a bit because I really want to read that off. This princess smells. And so can you.
And so can you.
It's the best, dude.
I have a question. This is an interesting question. Like, we have all these product like jokes, but like the question is like, where's the fine line between this is a joke or a reference and like this is actual product placement, like subliminally?
I think the CBS one is pretty wait, no, I don't think so.
The Sony is like straight on the same font and everything. It's like
I thought Hasbro had like things with Paramount or something. I don't know.
That sounds right. I think that this movie was supposed to be a Paramount theatrical release.
Yes, it was.
And then COVID screwed that up, and then now we have it on Netflix.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, but there was no Paramount thing. I don't know, man. This is more confusing than the plot. So then they're riding the elevator, and then we see on a big giant TV, we see this pony named Pipp come on TV. And I wrote here, these are my exact words. She's a fucking social media influencer and singer. Cause dude. Now listen. I want to make something very clear about myself. Okay. I'm sure I have the look of one, but listen, I'm really not one of those people that you see whenever something like this shows up in like a cartoon or whatever. I'm not Mr. Enter. I'm not J Alpha Show. I'm not Pinkerton. I'm not the cartoon community. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, that's cringe. Well, let me rephrase. I cringe when it's something I don't like. And bro, she even has, there's the hearts. She has the lingo. She has a name for her fan base. She credit where it's due. She talks just like the influencers from our world.
Yeah.
I think I cringed because I genuinely don't like that culture, and also just because it felt too real.
Yeah. It almost looked like she was doing like a Facebook Live sort of thing, because you have the heart
like
going up, you have the
but I feel like it had the
it's just for the content or whatever.
Do it for the Vine.
God, we probably look like a bunch of bitter boomers right now. So they get to the royal palace. We meet their cute and marketable cloud dog thing, and the queen. No, the dog's great. Cloud dog's great. So the queen, I didn't get the queen's name. We see
Queen Haven.
Haven, really?
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, so Queen.
I have it part of the notes, and we'll get to that.
So then we see her, and then Pipp comes out, and then Rainbow Dash 2. Haven freaks out when she sees the Earth Pony and Unicorn, which obviously are Sunny and Izzy. And then Pipp fucking films them.
And it goes to ZBS.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yes. And she's like, yo, and her queen's like, wait, guys, nothing to worry about. And the sheep are like, oh, okay. Oh, man, that was crazy. So then the queen is like, hey, every guys, nothing to see here. It's all Gucci. So she sends them to the dungeon and confiscates Sunny's book. Mm-hmm. Back at the sheriff house, we see Sprout's mom filling his head with delusions of grandeur.
I like that pronunciation. That was great.
Yeah, pretty good, right? And buongiorno, amigo. So she's like, hey, you need to go. The people are freaking out. You need to go out there and address the people. They saw a foreigner and they're really scared.
Yep.
So he's like, okay. This was the funniest shit. He opens the door. He's like, citizens, and the door shuts right on.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why. Like, I see jokes like that all the time. I'm like, whatever. But this was just done so perfect. It was great.
Yeah.
And then yes, I wrote here, I don't know if he sticks around for the show, but this guy's just the new Spike. He gets his ass beat for punchlines. But what was it? I remember everyone, like, two popular tags on Derpy Boober were like Scooter Love and Scoot Abuse, but there was also like Spike Abuse, but no one took that seriously because it was Spike. Poor guy. And I also forgot to mention his mom calls him Sugar Cube, which I'm like, cool. That's keeping that alive. So then he's like, oh fuck, we're in trouble, because they're like, hey, what's going on? He's like, you know what? We need to panic. And then he sings a song about it. Okay. If you guys thought I freaked out before,
yes,
with the allegories and the imagery, keep in mind, I'm not even that smart. This is just what they're telling me through the movie. So let me just say this. John had told me that there was a Nirvana sounding song. Yeah. And I said, what?
Yeah.
It was kind of like Nirvana mixed with The Offspring.
Okay, so when this song started, it had like a guitar riff that it was doing and I think they used it for like the chorus or something. It's not even it's just straight up Smells Like Teen Spirit riff. Like, it's basically the same thing. Yeah. I want someone to make a mashup of that. I want them to make a mashup, and they need to call it Smells Like an Angry Mob.
and have the lyrics of them doing the Angry Mob thing with the Smells Like Teen Spirit music video.
With the lights out, we're an angry mob. So, but that's just that. For the verse, they do like this vaguely trap thing, but then there's like a military march build up to the pre-chorus, and then there's the song itself. Can I read out some of these lyrics?
Yes,
please.
Yes.
They are going to steal, plunder, and pillage. They're going to take over the village. Don't just sit on your butts and do nothing and wait. Let's enter a blind, irrational state. It sounds like they're talking about the fucking Raiders in the autumn wind. Better get nervous. Better get tense. Better not let them catch you blinking. You don't need reason, fillies and gents. This is no time for overthinking. Fight. See in black and white. That's your pony right. Time to lift your manes and proudly throng. Numbers make you strong. Millions can't be wrong. That might be my favorite line in the whole song. Yep. Millions can't be wrong, especially when they're screaming loudly. That might be my other favorite line in the song. You might not have a bale of hay to borrow, and you're saddled with your sorrow. Are you scared tomorrow? Well, it's all going to work out painlessly if you follow my orders brainlessly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's even better. There's a verse not in the movie version that's just on the soundtrack version. Sharpen your senses, sharpen your tongues, sharpen your moral indignation. Gather in groups and ready your lungs. Holler with pent-up aggravation. This is the fist inside of the nose. I
You
love
almost
it.
sound like you're doing a sermon.
And part of what I like is part of it. There's a point where there's a bunch of TVs like 20% off, and
they have
it's G2.
it's G2.
It's G2.
It's for like a split second.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then I see 20% off. Oh, they're making 20% cooler reference there.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. You mentioned that it sounded like I was doing a sermon. This gave me vibes of when I heard Starlight Glimmer's villain song for the first time in season 5.
Yes.
But this is that multiplied.
I also
This is that on crack.
like you guys both got serious Starlight vibes from Phyllis, right? His mom.
Mhm.
A little
She's got
bit, yeah.
the weird haircut or whatever. It's like that whole family or whatever. Like that, it's very, very Starlight Town or whatever.
No, for sure, for sure.
Did the fandom ever give Starlight's town a name? Because I always called it Stalliongrad.
They never gave it a name, but Stalliongrad.
Stalliongrad is like perfect, right?
Equality training grounds.
I mean, people called it our town, I think, maybe,
Yeah.
but like Stalliongrad. Come
Yeah.
on, fandom. That's it, right?
I'm pissed off that never caught on.
Yep.
Oh my god, fuck the bronies.
So
So
then
yeah,
it
this song. Yeah,
Yeah.
this song's the best. I love this song.
Yes,
Can I say
I love
that
it so
enough
much.
times?
No,
Yes.
Hey, Barry, edit in me coming over this song because it's really good.
Oh no! Oh, it's blasted a hole in my TV screen! Oh fuck! Ah! Oh, I can't stop coming! Ah!
Yeah, no, good song is good song. You know, I this is like one of the only songs I went back to and like listened to
Yes,
after
me
it
too.
was done.
Me too.
Because I was just like, bro, how do you know I love it? This is like, again, it's just I don't know if it's better than Starlight's song Our Town Out because they're two completely different things, but I'm telling you, it's just that but escalated to its logical conclusion. So Lusk, I'm gonna assume you like the song too.
I was not as crazy about this song. Like,
Ooh.
I didn't like it because the chorus is so lazy. They're just like mob, mob, mama, mob, mob, or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
no, the chorus was a little lacking. The
and-
main stars were the verses.
I mean, I liked the fact that they're like, hey, it's kind of like, God, what's the name of that Offspring song? That's it.
Okay.
Self-esteem. Yeah, it's self-esteem.
I got no self-esteem.
Yeah, it's like those two songs crossed, and then like partly a pop song because they do that part where they're like he and his mom are like "Wah," or whatever.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know
yeah.
yeah. But I mean, it's a good song.
I'll admit the chorus isn't the best, and I feel like the song is better if you have the video with it.
Mhm.
Because on its own, it's kind of whatever. And the novelty of the lyrics carried a lot for me.
Mm.
Yeah. There's like it's just kind of like this lazy kind of comedy writing like lyric that it's like, oh, it's funny because the lyrics are terrible or whatever. And I'm like, it doesn't work for me. So I don't know. It was fine though.
We're
Like
an angry mob. I like the way they said that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people really liked it though. So
Look at this corn. It's on the cob.
I thought
this
that
guy.
part was
Hey,
kind
my
of
name's
funny
Rob.
though. Like so,
my name's
I will
Rob.
say that. And then the guy, the Rob guy, that
Yeah.
part is
Name's Rob.
funny. It was like honestly in my bottom two songs. I'm
Oh, no,
sorry.
that's cool. You know, it's that's why I
There were
don't
like 6 songs. Were there 6? Do you guys actually have a number on that or?
actually no shit. There's only like 5 songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe they should have put Izzy and Sunny's song later. So back in Cloud Town,
Yeah.
we see the commercial for Pipp's perfume, which is amazing.
And it's way too real.
This princess smells. I don't know who wrote that line, but they need royalties on this movie for the rest of their life. So Zipp goes to see them, and just gives back Sunny's journal.
Yeah, and they're in this like really luxurious sort of prison cell, which I
This
love.
looks like the kind of prison cell that the mob boss pays for when he's in the
Yeah.
prison for 5 years.
And then you have Pipp coming over and saying,
Yeah.
like, why are you over here? Mom said not to talk to them. And so they have the whole thing where they play a song on their phones and then roll out a red carpet and then they go back. Oh, it's time for dress rehearsals. But it's literally her with the vibrations of the phone of her moving slightly. Like, oh, dress rehearsals. And she's walking away. And I'm going to mark out here a little bit because this referenced a Disney movie. And the fact that Vanessa Hudgens is Sunny here
Oh my
makes it
God.
funny.
Yeah.
She's walking away. She's like, red feather, yellow feather. And then she does the ma from High School Musical 2.
I've never seen any of those. So like,
Okay.
oh, this is a
didn't
reference to High School Musical?
I didn't catch that reference.
Yeah, it's off the background and you could barely hear it. But she does that little trill and then
I
the
heard her do that. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if it was referencing a thing though.
Yeah.
that's what it sounded like to me. At least.
Okay. Huh.
So then
I do like at the end of that scene though that Izzy replaces an orange with a tennis ball.
Yeah. And also the reason I thought of High School Musical 2 is because Vanessa Hudgens' character does that in the second movie.
Zipp busts them out and gives them, she's like, I gotta show you a secret or something. So in between them leaving and them going to the place, there's a scene with Hitch climbing and shit, and there are bunnies and stuff. And he finds the lead on Sunny, and he has this funny little monologue. He's like, I will not eat, I will not sleep. He's like, well, maybe a snack and a nap if I don't find you in a few hours, but I will find you.
Yes.
So
I will
great.
find you.
Is this when he licks a feather and says this tastes like Pegasus?
Yes.
He's like, I have tasted many of Pegasus, and this tastes exactly like that. So, like, what?
Hey, man.
He's like, I bought it on eBay because Pegasus, we don't hang out, but don't look it up or whatever.
It's like, hey, man, a cult's got to do what a cult's got to do. So in secret underground place, Zipp is like, yeah, we actually can't fly wires and shit, LaMayo.
Yeah.
And
Let me just say.
Wait. Did you say LaMayo? Hold on.
Yeah.
Bing bong,
Yeah.
bing.
Yeah.
So they get to this underground station. Was this station someplace from the old show? Because am I tripping, or was that Twilight's cutie mark on the stained glass window?
Oh, it absolutely was.
Here's what it looked like to
was.
me. The whole place looks like an ancient airship station because they had airships in ancient Equestria, and they're looking around, and Pipp, there's a little moment of silence. She's looking up, and it's a poster of the Wonderbolts in front of Zephyr Heights.
I was wondering.
I marked out. I don't even give a shit about the Wonderbolts, but I was like, yo.
I wrote this down too. Is that something that's actually in G4, or is it just close?
I'm pretty sure that was in.
I
thought it was too.
You know what? Hold on.
But like a couple people at our meetup disagree.
Pause the recording. We're gonna watch all 9 seasons real quick. So they find out that the magic crystal, there's like 3 crystals. No,
well, they only know 2 of them at this point.
There's crystals, and they're like, yo, we can bring the magic back. Which, speaking of magic, didn't they confirm that Earth ponies have magic?
Yes.
In a sense?
Yes.
Like straight up. But that's not a factor in this plot. When I remembered that kind of bugged me because I'm like, wait a gosh dark, cotton picking, Colonel Sanders, chicken eating, poison apple eating, freaking mead drinking, Mickey Mouse and Steamboat Willie watching minute. When I remembered, I looked that up and I saw that somewhere and I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. They never tapped into that in the original show really either, but they didn't touch it here at all. So I'm like, what the hell?
So kind of going through the scene here, you have Zipp also using this giant fan thing to kind of, keep her airborne. And you have Izzy just being like, her sparkle is so bright right now. It's beautiful.
See, she said sparkle.
Yes. Yes. So they find out that the crystal is part of the mother's crown, the Queen
Yes.
Haven's crown. And
Who
they do a
bathes with
heist.
the crown.
And they do, yes. She
They
sleeps
show
with the
that.
crown. She dives into a pool with a
with the shower cap over it.
Yes. I'm a princess who's getting, or I'm a queen who's getting clean.
Yeah. So the second time I watched it, I was like, is she trying to do the vocal register for like My Little Pony or whatever? Like when she says that, she's like, the queen is getting clean or whatever. Like
Maybe.
I wasn't sure. Like the first time I didn't think anything about it. And the second time I was like, is that what she's doing?
Friendship is Magic earned my respect so much that if someone puts forward a notion like that, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Whenever they're like, hey, do you think this little tiny detail means this little thing? I'm like, you know what? Probably. So yeah, they're like, yo, my mom's crown is the key. And they're like, okay, we need to get that. And then so they do that thing where they're explaining their plan as it's happening to save time.
Yeah.
And it's a great scene. Especially when they get into the throne room and it transitions to an overhead shot of the thrones. I'm like, oh, that's so good.
So they make the crown, they sneak into like the special effects. No, sorry, this happens later. So then they have to wait for the show to start, right? Mm-hmm. And then we probably get the best song of our generation. It's called Glowin Up.
Excuse me for a moment while I go puke really hard.
No, wait, listen, shut up. These oohs are very important to the song.
Oh, gosh.
Those oohs are to make sure that this record sells.
So the Pomeranian fuzzball
the little white thing.
Cloud dog.
The little white dog.
Yes, the little white dog.
In love with Hitch.
Well, I didn't
understand. Okay, so I have to admit something. So I watched the movie today and I was like, why the fuck does this dog fall in love with Hitch? And then later they're like, oh, your badge was missing. And I was like, oh, he was in love with the shiny thing. And then at the beginning of this program, you were like, oh, all the animals love him. So I'm like, is that why that dog loved him? Because that's what it sounds like now. Yeah. Why does that dog love Hitch?
I don't know, dude. Dogs are
he's amazingly sexy, or is it because dogs love Hitch?
It's because of its chiseled abs and
listen. James Marsden's a very good looking guy. Did you know that dude's like 48?
What?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
But speaking of Hitch, yes, they get into the there's a bit where the girls sneak into the special effects room and then a spotlight accidentally goes on Hitch and he has to improvise some lyrics. I didn't really write them down, but it was pretty funny.
Throwing up, find a glove.
It was probably better than the actual song.
Did you know those off the top of your head, John?
Yeah, I just saw the movie today.
He has a photographic memory.
Clearly.
Yes.
That's impressive.
I have told him that since I've known it for a long time.
Yeah.
That's actually impressive because I just like if I had made a note, it would have been like Hitch just says nonsense words or whatever, and you know the words.
Well, I only know the first two. Then I know
that's more than we did. I don't know
the third one, and then the fourth one's like tra la la or something like that.
Tra la la.
Then spaghetti.
My tra la la. Oh, my ding ding dong. Do you guys know that? Okay, he knows.
Dude.
Yeah. I like you. You're my friend now. We're friends forever.
Then spaghettios. Pipp gets strung up. I probably could have worded that better, but screw it.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, the royals can't fly. So then the queen gets fucking arrested.
Yeah, and I wrote this down. Okay, I wrote down what she said. This just in: Queen Haven was arrested for being a phony pony full of baloney.
Yeah.
That was good. Now Pipp and Zipp are fugitives, and I think that's hilarious. So
Yeah.
they meet up in an alley, and they're like, "Oh shit, what are we gonna do?" And basically, yeah, the main five are all together. Well, okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really want to say the main five because that's Twilight's and her
Mhm.
group's thing. So until Gen 6 rolls around 20 years from now, I'm just gonna call these guys the new five, but new like the letter N and then the word U and then the letter U, like new metal, Korn,
New shoes.
Static X, Cold Chamber, Limp Bizkit. It's just one of those days. So
That's
They
a
make-
great song.
so they make camp, and Hitch is trying to remain solo. He's off by himself, trying to like make a fire by
Mhm.
rolling sticks between his hooves or whatever. But he lets his tough guy demeanor down. He suppresses his bigotry enough to hang out,
Mhm.
and he's convinced to not be racist. And they're like, "Yo, let's do this friendship shit, dog."
Yeah, and I love one of the points here where Hitch asks Izzy, "Why'd you come over to Maritime Bay?"
Yeah,
And we find out that Izzy was the one who got the note from Sunny and her dad
and
all
when
those years
Izzy
ago.
and when Izzy points out, "Yeah, I got this note," Sonny's like, and then Izzy's like, and then it's like, "Oh shit, what up, dog?" That listen. That is some true love shit right there.
Mhm.
I listen. Initially, when this started out, I was like, okay, I'm kind of pulling for Hitch and Sunny. This could be cool. But lesbian horses are back, you guys, and it is in full effect. It's just, oh my god, her Sunny and Izzy, dude. It's like how do you not OT? It's like Bonbon and the Lyra. It's just how do you not ship that? You know.
My question is, how long is it going to take for TV tropes to have that is you on there?
And then I realized that when they get to the forest, this is where my notes stop, and I'm like, fuck. But so they get to the creepy forest.
Oh, before this, I want to mention something. So that blossom tree that they passed in that field right over there, the one with the pink blossoms, that was confirmed by Imulau, who was the artist who was commissioned to help out with the movie.
If you say that was Applejack's parents' tree,
no, it is
Okay.
it is the friendship tree that the student 6 created.
Are you kidding me?
No. That brings up another question.
I like how his cable to his mic is like moving back and forth here in his frame. That was great. I love that.
Bro, that broke me for a second. Not in like a bad way. I'm just like, yo, what? So
and this brings up another question.
Did the school just get bulldozed over or something?
I don't know. But here's my question. If that's the case, they come right to pretty much right after to a forest, right?
I know what you're going to say. I thought the same thing. Is this the Everfree Forest?
Is Bridlewood part of the Everfree Forest?
Bridlewood has to be the Everfree Forest or part of
Especially
it. Especially
right at the beginning when it's all dark and spooky.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yes. There's a couple things I want to mention beforehand. One is where Hitch realizes that he lost his badge and he's freaking out and he screams at Izzy like, "You like shiny things?" "Oh yeah, I did see a bad shiny thing a couple hours ago." And then she comes up to him and just very slyly goes, "Between you and me, he was creating a very unhealthy power dynamic." And then Izzy's horde could be a jackhammer. Because they get to that chasm and then Izzy just fucking jackhammers that tree trunk and just lets it fall.
It's almost like a woodpecker, though. Too.
Yes. Exactly.
Is Bridlewood a joke?
I have no idea.
Like, is it a reference to something? But it's usually like, it's Manhattan. It's Philadelphia. What is Bridlewood?
The only thing I could think of is I know
pretty name.
Yeah. Well, I know bridle is literally the thing that they put with the bits in the horse's mouth and everything to kind of keep the reins and everything around their face.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of. So it is a reference to equine fashion, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And it's a really pretty name. And this is these are the last bits of notes I actually have in my notes. The only way I can describe Bridlewood is it looks like it's filled with a bunch of depressed people from California in their mid-20s.
Yes.
So related, like they get there and they're like, hey, a crystal, hey, a crystal, hey, a crystal. And it's like all these ponies that they find in Bridlewood look like they're strung out on crystal meth.
Yeah.
They're like,
yeah, there's not enough. There's not enough holes in their arm.
Yes.
But yeah, no, similar vibe.
Yeah. And then they get to Izzy's place, and the second best song of the movie comes here.
Which song is this?
For me personally, I know Angry Mob is the first, and then this is the second favorite.
Is this how a unicorn fit right in? Is this how a unicorn whatever? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, how a unicorn fits in. Honey, you came to the right place.
That's the best song in my opinion. It seems most like a G4 song, but they really missed an opportunity here. And that is, they're like, this is how a unicorn hoops. How do you not go to this is how a unicorn boops? That's a thing. Why do they not have a unicorn go or whatever on another boat? What?
That would have been perfect. But I do love how it's literally talking about watch us shake our unicorn butts.
I was like, oh my God, Rule 34 is obviously gonna happen compared to this or whatever.
My first thought was, oh man, I was waiting for some plot in this movie. That was the code word back in the day.
Yeah, I watched it for the plot.
We watched it as a group, obviously, because I did the meetup, and then all of a sudden, an alarm went off, and it was like, bloop, 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 bloop. It's the Derpy Baru alarm. Like, what is happening? No, oh my God.
Oh yes, there's gonna be so much of this, and it's funny.
Why?
It's literally there was actually a post by Sithisto who does the Equestria Daily stuff.
Yeah.
And he was literally just like, we're gonna make their butts flatter and everything because holy shit, G4 was terrifying. And then it's also Hasbro, and it's the gif of them shaking their butts. I'm just like, my God, that is just wow. And I love that little rap thing near the end of it too. It's just so funny.
I thought about bringing that up earlier when you were making the comparisons to Pinkie Pie. So I was like, Pinkie Pie does the rap part in that one song in one of the episodes. And then basically she does the updated version. Izzy does the updated version.
No, this song's great. It's the most like G4, but I feel like it's the most G4, but it also like incorporates like the stuff they're going for in this one. I don't know what it was. Some of the musical arrangements, like, yeah, they were poppy, but they still felt like more weirdly complex, but it was different than Daniel Ingram, because Daniel Ingram was coming out of it from more of like an actual score perspective, you know, like not like orchestra type of thing, but he was a guy that, you know, probably went to MI, the Music Institute, and graduated summa cum laude, and he's a musician. Yeah,
I talked to him about like the Blade Runner scores for like 2049 and the original.
Oh yeah.
He definitely is that kind of guy. So he's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
This one, I feel like maybe some of the in between the song scores isn't as catchy or maybe whimsical or memorable, but I feel like the song structures themselves, I don't know, I keep coming back to the word prog, you know, like prog rock, because like there's a lot of it's like Beach Boys prog rock. You guys ever listen to the Beach Boys when Brian Wilson started getting weird? Like Pet Sounds and Smile.
Like,
that kind of stuff.
What's the one song that they worked on for like a year and a half or whatever?
Oh, Good Vibrations.
Yes.
Yeah, like Good Vibrations, or like Heroes and Villains, and that kind
song
of stuff.
is crazy.
Yeah, I know, it's great. It's great.
It has like 3 or 4 different like chord progressions.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's so great.
And each bit has its own like time signature.
Yeah,
it's going for. Yeah, that's what this one feels like. Where like it sounds
absolutely.
Yeah, we're like so like where Daniel Ingram's sounds simple, but you can like pick it apart. This is the kind of thing where it's just like, with Daniel Ingram, you just really have to listen. With this one, I feel like you have to listen like through a couple more times. Because like I'm reminded of the song from that one season 4 episode with Scootaloo where they were talking about
Hearts as Strong as Horses.
Yeah. There's a lot of things in there, but you can hear it on its first like thing, and it's a cohesive thing. There's some time signature changes in some of these songs on Gen 5 that threw me off for a bit because it's not completely in 4/4.
Yeah.
So
no, absolutely.
And this song's a good representation of that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just like it's doing this thing, and then it's like, oh, that thing stopped, and now we're doing this or whatever.
And again, I like a lot of the vocal structures because the music is just going dun dun, but the vocals like da 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 da, but it's flowing. It's probably the fucking no. You're right. It's the best song.
It is. It's the best song in the movie, and it also seems the most G4 like.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Exactly.
So yeah, great song. And it's kind of a bummer though because there's this great song, but it's really just comes down to they just put on fake horns.
Yep.
Like, she's doing like James Marsden's makeup and she's got all these things going.
The Joker makeup.
Yep.
Yeah. She does that thing where she's like leaning on the stairs going like this. She's like, rip out all the pages of your history books. They're shooting hoops, but then they just put on fake horns and that's that.
Yep.
So they're walking around and they're like, these crystals ain't shit. We need like the crystal.
And then they talk about Hitch is just like, so which of these is magic? And then these 3 little fillies are just like, ooh, you said a bad word. Now we have to keep ourselves to the Chixies. Ooh, bing bong, bing bong. and so Izzy has to explain that unicorns are very superstitious and they do this ritual to keep away the jinxies, which is bad luck, of course. And then you have her listing them off, which was magic, wing, feather, and mayonnaise. And Hitch is like, what's wrong with mayonnaise? And then Izzy just and all of the characters, not just the one next to him, but all the characters in the background start to go, oh, okay.
Oh, he didn't fully say it.
Yeah. That was probably the best.
Bing. And the funny thing is when they do that bing, bing, bong stuff, like their entire beings just convulse. It's the most expressive animation in the whole movie. And I don't mean that as a slight. I mean, because literally, like this is going for the G4 thing where there's like a lot of little subtle movements and a lot of little things here. But these guys are just like, they're like, you want a Vogue? Strike a pose, Great. So they go to the bar, and yeah, it's a bar, blah blah blah. Wretched hive of scum and villainy, Star Wars joke. It's the only famous bar scene in movies except for Casablanca. So they go to the bar and they meet Phil Lamar.
Yes,
that's who
Alphabittle.
Was voicing. Alphabittle. But he's Phil Lamar. Once you know who Phil Lamar is and see all the shit he's probably been in almost more shit than Tara Strong. So Sunny's like, I want that. Here's another line that really feels like it was thrown in for the trailer because she's like, she sees he has a crystal. She sees him beat this kid at Rubik's Cube and he wagers stuff. So she's like, I want that crystal. He's like, you're going to have to play me for it. And she's like, I'll do it. He's like, bring it on, little pony. He's like, I think you'll find I'm average height.
That's not the first My Little Pony reference in this movie, though.
Yeah, but at the same time,
her dad is like, "Good night, My Little Pony." Or whatever.
That was good though.
He said the thing, or whatever.
That was better. That was better than the way that they used to force it in season 1 and 2. Like when, like after the Cutie Mark Crusader talent show, and Twilight walks up, and she's like, "My Little Ponies." I'm like. Yeah. Like, shoot, I don't mind them saying it, but it's like, if you're going to say it like, and they say it in the season 1 debut too. Charlie's like, My Little Ponies.
Oh, yeah. Season 2. Yeah.
But she's calling them back. I'm like, I got goosebumps of cringe as I said that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
So they play. So she's like, "Yeah, give me that Rubik's cube," and he's like, "What?" We fight like men, and then we fight like men, and then he pulls out Dance Pony.
Yes, just Prance.
Oh, it's just Prance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just Prance. See if they do that, they can get around doing copyright stuff. It's like, hey, no, we're not referencing your game. We're referencing Lady Gaga, and songs are in the public domain.
Yeah.
So
I didn't understand how that game worked though. It was like, I mean, we all know how DDR works, and it was like only like 4 would show up at a time. Like, also like her learning curve went to like, I am terrible at this game, to I am still terrible at this game, to I am a genius at this game.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's watching this was literally like if you watch the first 10 minutes of the first Karate Kid and then skip to the end at the tournament.
I'm feeling
where he beats Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I'm feeling the rhythm, so therefore I'm automatically better. No,
that's what happens. That's what happens. Sophie Carson just told her to find your rhythm, and then she got it.
Yeah.
That's the plot. That's what happened. That's the horse ass. So she wins, but in the midst of it all, she loses her horn, and she's like, "Hey, I still won the crystal." And then very seriously, Alphabittle's like, "You cheated.
You lied to me."
That was great. So they take the crystal. Take the crystal and run. And,
and I love how it's because Hitch is just like magic wing feather mayonnaise.
Yeah.
And so
it's funny, they're doing the ritual like this, and Alphabittle's like, "I'm gonna get you."
Yeah. And this leads into everyone coming together, and they're taking the 2 crystals thinking it's gonna work. And I have to say, musically speaking, because if anyone knows me, they know that along with the Daniel Ingram stuff, I loved William Anderson's background scores for a lot of the G4 episodes, especially 28 Pranks Later with the whole like zombie.
That guy's an unsung hero of that show.
But with this, my favorite leitmotif of the entire movie is right here. As they're trying to put it together, it's so beautiful.
And then Haven shows up.
Yes.
That was funny. I just like the image of Haven. She just busted out of jail.
Yep.
And the guards are after her. She's like, "Oh, my daughters," and then they're like, "Oh, my mother." And then the guards show up there and they're like, "Oh my God, it's you guys." Then the unicorns show up and they're like, "Oh my God, it's you guys." And then Sunny's like, "Wait, guys, we can stop a race war. We just need to click these things together." So they click the stuff together and nothing happens. And I don't mean nothing. I mean like
nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
What's less than nothing? Does nothing then invert on itself and it becomes something? I don't know, but no, nothing happens.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "But that should have worked."
Yep. And here's where I thought this whole time, they'd finally have one of the ponies start to cry, like Sunny. But it never happened.
Yeah, no one cried.
No one cried at all in this movie. And it's weird because G4 used crying so much.
Mostly with Fluttershy, but yeah, there was a lot of crying.
Yes, mostly with Pinkie Pie for the jokes.
No
Fluttershy for the actual good movie.
There was no crying?
There was no crying.
There was no
tears
crying.
I'm like sitting here thinking, trying to remember.
Yeah.
Like,
no, and Fluttershy was played for drama. Twilight only cried during the finales and the premieres, and maybe 1 or 2 episodes here and there. Every time Rarity cried after season 3, it was just a joke.
Yeah, same with Pinkie Pie.
Applejack only cried a handful of times, but it was always played for serious, or it was like a weird not weird, but it was like a happy cry thing. And Rainbow Dash only cried a handful of times, but when she cried, she cried.
Oh yeah, it takes for the
she
memories.
Cried a lot.
One of the best.
Oh yeah, that was. But yeah, I didn't really realize it. But yeah, no one cried, which
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, I don't think so
But I don't
either.
know if it's. I don't know if yeah.
It was one
I
of those
guess
things.
I guess it adds to that whole thing I said earlier, where it feels like this one is like growing up ish. I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels more.
It was mainly just one of those things where I'm thinking there's going to be a crying scene somewhere, and then it didn't happen, and I'm like, huh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe the Steven Universe future finale ruined everyone on crying.
Then they get back to Maretime Bay, and Sunny figures out that there's a third crystal that's in her father's in the carousel thing.
Everyone parts ways, and Hitch looks back at the Pegasus and Universe. He's like, goodbye, friends.
Yeah.
I'm like, you get that paycheck, Marston.
Yeah.
And then
that paycheck, Tyrese.
And then they get back, and he tries to tell say, hey, if you need to talk, I'm here. And I really like the way, I think I mentioned this earlier, I really like the way they like play out the drama between her and Hitch, because it's never like this like annoying bloated drama, but it's always this like kind of quiet, like it seemed like they were kind of fed up with each other, but they still wanted to be friends. And then here, instead of saying, it's okay, you're putting on a brave face, she just says nothing and walks away. There was little things with that I really liked. And yeah, she goes home, and again, it's kind of a long bit with no talking, but she puts all her figurines in a box. And a lot of that other stuff. But then I forget how she does it, but she stumbles on how I guess somehow her dad had like the third crystal in their house, and she puts it, there was a little thing she had earlier in the movie where she pushed it, and it like activated the stairs that brought them to the lighthouse. And then she sees that, and she's like, holy shit. So,
and she's running, and she's so happy.
Yeah.
And then she comes back, and her and Hitch are like, what's going on? Everyone's marching, like everything. And then you have Sprout going full Stalin on us.
Dude, he's not even Stalin. He's like Muammar Gaddafi. He's in like the fucking dictator.
Oh my God. He had outfits. Dude, he was, and he built, there was a scene we forgot to cover earlier where he's like in the factory, they're building a weapon.
Yeah.
And now we see it, bro.
Metal Gear.
This was a weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
Yes.
This thing was like, it didn't have the thing I found interesting about this robot design, because it is technically a robot. There's nothing cutesy or funny about it. I'm not saying it's scary. I'm not saying, because it's not, but like, there's like no humorous redeeming thing about it. Like the gadgets earlier, they were funny, like, an anti-mind reading helmet, or it's like, oh, big giant goggles. But no, in the Splatapult, it's a catapult that shoots gack. But this is a weapon. This is a weapon for war. These folks are about to and Sprout says throughout the movie, he's like, we need to attack them first. They're getting ready for it race war. Something helter skelter Charles Manson.
Does that mean that he is a member of the Taliban with weapons of mass destruction?
I'm saying that Sprout is about to call the unicorns and Pegasi phony pigs and invade Iraq when we really needed to invade Afghanistan.
Yep.
I would argue there is one comical thing, and that's the fact that Sprout has a bobblehead produced of himself already as Dictator on the dashboard.
That's right.
Of marital gear Rex. Also, for some inexplicable reason, marital gear, which is what I'm calling it, it has an EU license plate on the front of it.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Why does the EU exist in Equestria now?
So those two meet up. They see it happen.
It's the Equestrian Union, don't you know?
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense, actually. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. So Izzy, Zipp, and Pipp followed them. We see they're like, hey man, we couldn't say goodbye yet. And she's like, no, it's great. I've got the plot device, guys. Oh, also Metal Gear. And then they're like, what the hell? What's Metal Gear? And then they're like, I never played Metal Gear. I only played Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
So the neat thing about this weapon is that this thing's a destructive force, and it looks goofy. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't, but this thing they're doing visual things to communicate to you. This thing will hurt people. So Sprout is like, I'm not going to let you usurp my rule, Shinra for life. And he's six the robot on him. He's controlling it. It's fucking Liquid Snake over here, and. Yeah, it's like he's straight up chasing down Sunny, because she's running to the house to get the lighthouse bit and stuff. So he's giving chase. Zipp and Hitch are on the thing, and they're trying to disarm it because it has splatapult things as weapons, I think. These two are almost getting killed. Izzy and Sunny get into the house, and then they're trying to get the thing, but then Sprout crashes the thing into the lighthouse. And then he's not just crashing into it. This thing's like getting torn apart, and they're almost falling out. Remember, there's no magic. They can't teleport, and neither of them have wings, so they can't fly. So these things so the tower is like coming down. He's destroying it with the robot, and it comes careening down to the ground below. Hitch and Zipp are able to stop it, but now everything's destroyed. And then they're just like, we can save it. We can save the day. We can be the heroes of the day, like that Metallica song. And
Wait, what? What Metallica song?
They have a song called "Hero of the Day," and they're just like, let's put the pieces together. It's like, and then nothing happens.
And that's when Sunny's like, I finally understand. It's not the gems that need to come together. It's us. And this whole time, there's been a running gag about this picture on her wall, that every time the door is slammed, it goes off center, so they have to fix it. When she comes back after, moping after the whole adventure, she leaves it hanging, but it gets like mixed up and just doesn't want to, it's broken. So
yeah, the picture breaks.
So Phyllis,
and we forgot to mention, but they implied that her dad is dead.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Yes. Very, very, very clearly.
Then you have Haven, Phyllis, and Alphabittle all put the picture together back together, and all of a sudden that's what activates the gems. And Sunny becomes a fucking alicorn.
Wait, did you say like that's what activates the M.A. Larson device?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Time out. I don't mean to be that guy, but TV Tropes pointed this out. When Sunny comes to this conclusion, it feels the tiniest bit out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. This is one of those things where it's like they expect the audience to watch Gem 4 to a certain degree, because of course all the ponies coming together is going to make the magic work. They never said that in Gem 4, but the whole point of Gem 4 was unity. So, it makes sense that that's how that would work. But I feel like they didn't really like convey or show how Sunny specifically reached that conclusion. Like, because she gets up, looks around after it doesn't work. No, I'm sorry. They put the thing together, it doesn't work. She looks around. I finally understand now. What? We had to come together to what? And then M.A. Lars, things to carry over to Gen 5 from Gen 4. The setting, Sugar Cube, M.A. Larson. So there you go.
Yep.
And she becomes an alicorn. Here's the thing, though. The horn and wings look like they were made up of light or magic.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think those are permanent. And I was thinking to myself, oh, okay, they're just there, but they're to foreshadow what's to come and maybe to show us Sunny's path that's going to take place, because they wouldn't make her an alicorn in the first thing. That'd be just dumb. But they don't go away.
Yeah.
The movie just kind of ends here. And Sprout got, like, no punishment that we saw.
Yeah.
And, listen, I'm not trying to make the kids movie something that it's not, but Homeboy was committing war crimes.
Yeah.
He was citing public mass hysteria. He was building weapons. with intent to use weapons, and then he used the weapons.
Yep.
So, but hey, movie basically ends, and then song. How can I sum up my opinion on this quickly?
Which one other thing before we give our scores, I found out the screenplay was written in part by GM Barrow,
Wow.
the one who wrote the one where Pinkie Pie knows and The Point of No Return, the library book episode. And then Stephen Davis, who is the president of Hasbro, and Megan McCarthy are both executive producers.
Huh.
Okay, so clearly they gave a shit about this movie.
Yes, indeed they did.
Jesus.
Just wanted to point that out.
All right, let's address the elephant in the room before we get too far into this.
Okay.
Who's best pony and why is it Izzy Moonbow?
Okay, see, here's the thing. It's pretty much Izzy.
That's what I've noticed in the fandom itself. It's a Pipp isn't even on the radar. Sunny,
It's obviously between Sprout and Izzy. No, I'm just kidding. No. Sprout is so cringy. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I feel like it's between Izzy and honestly Hitch, but I think with Hitch it's still riding that novelty of it being James, just straight up being James Marsden in a kids movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's from what I could tell, I'm not nearly as deep in the fandom as I am now. I've ever since like season 5 or 6, when I kept watching the show, that stood out of the started backing away from the fandom. I think it's because I got so sucked in, and it wasn't even a bad thing, but just I just don't have it in me to get that invested in any fan base really anymore. So I'm not too into it. But from what I can tell, almost everybody seems, he's right. Everyone seems to be feeling Izzy. And I was a little hit or miss on some of her. I think her writing's fine. Obviously, she's supposed to emulate Pinkie Pie. And sometimes I feel like there's a couple lines, not just delivery, but just full-on lines where it feels like something Pinkie Pie would have said. And with her delivery, it's really not that much like Pinkie Pie's. I think we're just so used to her that any quirky character in a certain cadence. There's 3 types of quirky characters now. It's Harley Quinn, Deadpool, and Pinkie Pie. So those are like the 3.
And two of those break the fourth wall.
Yeah, yes. 2 of those break the. Harley does sometimes, but it depends like what she's in. So yeah, those are the 3 like quirky character archetypes of media now, and I'm fine with that. Those are good characters. But Izzy it was just sometimes just some of the lines or just some certain things I was like but like I said, when Izzy hit, she hit, and she's probably the best one. I really do like Hitch, not just because of James Marsden, but I think adding a cult into the main cast dynamic actually has a lot of interesting story potential, and him being a sheriff too has a lot of interesting story beats that come along. So I really like him, but Izzy's really cool. And bro, her hair, I'm gonna sound really something, I'm not sure what. Her hair is so pretty. Like, oh my God. I remember me and John did the analysis, for the trailer. I couldn't shut up by how like breathtaking her hair was animated. It's not even that I think the hair itself looks nice, but it's just like bro, it's like an ocean, but it's coming out of her head.
I would also say regarding like what you were saying about Hitch, I feel like he has a really good character arc.
Yeah, he does.
Like compared to like at least most of the characters, he actually like grows in this. I mean, so does Sunny, I guess. But like I think he grows probably the most of any character.
Yeah, for sure. John, did you really answer, or were you kind of like me? You're kind of like, yeah, pretty much Izzy.
I mean, I think Izzy was really good in a lot of ways. But I know I'm the odd one out here, but I don't know what it is. I fell in love with Zipp, and I think the reason is because of Liza Koshy's performance of Zipp, because to me she felt just so natural in that role. And I also love how with a lot of her lines, it felt like she was thinking out loud, like when she first meets, Sunny and Izzy, she's like, "Oh, this stage just got a whole lot more interesting." Or when they're in the jail cell and they're talking and she's like, "Oh, that changes things. Interesting." Just the way that was kind of portrayed. I just love that.
So how do I sum up this movie quickly and then have you guys do your and then have you guys say it before we go in detail? I think this movie is pretty solid, and I'm not just saying that because I made a lot of Metal Gear jokes. I think this movie. I think the best way to describe this movie, for me personally, my opinions, my taste, it was solid. It's better than fine. It's better than all right. I think it's better than good, honestly. And well, I think solid's better than good sometimes, but yeah, solid.
What would you rate it as a score?
That's the thing. I know it's not a 10. It's between a 7 and 9.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd give it an 8 though, because I feel like it's better than 8.5, because I was literally thinking as I was speaking, I'm like, well, it's better than a 7, but I don't know if it's better than 9. Yeah, 8.5. Let's just go with that for now. Maybe I'll watch it again and get a second opinion. I guess any things I have to point little drawbacks. I thought animation was fine. Thought songs were there was 5. I thought 2.5, 2 3/4 of them at least. No, sorry. I meant 3 to 2 3/4 songs I thought were really good. To very good. The only real thing I can really say is it just felt like sometimes the pacing was a little off in some things. But I'm used to Gen 4 sometimes like having no pacing whatsoever at times, which I feel like even in the finales and premieres, that was a problem with that show. But just honestly, just some mild pacing things are my main thing, and just some plot things that I feel like could have been hammered out a little better. And and I also felt like Zipp and Pipp got like no real characterization.
Well, yeah, Zipp got more characterization.
Zipp got more than Pipp, but here's the thing: Pipp got like nothing.
Yeah,
Zipp got better than nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. I would say I would give this that I thought the movie was pretty solid, and through all the times of watching it, it hasn't really changed my opinion. But I would say solid 8. It was probably a good score for this movie. What about you, Mr. Lusk?
So I review every movie that I watch on a app called Letterbox, and you can find me on there at Lupin the Third, I think is my username on there. Let me double check.
You called yourself Lupin the Third?
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Let me double check.
That's so choice.
I love Lupin.
That's so choice.
I don't know where my name would be on here, but whatever. I gave it a 3 the first time I watched it out of 5, which would be a 6 out of 10. But after the second view, I actually increased my rating to a 3.5. So like a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Which I feel is solid.
Yeah.
Because anything over a 3 is like a 3 out of 5. So like a 6 out of 10 is something that I think is like good.
Yeah.
But like I'm also really kind of a little critical, but like I do feel like it is solid. I thought that and I like that that was your choice word for it, because that was like kind of what I called it when I saw it, because I feel like I went into it with the thought that like Hasbro is going to distance themselves to try and be like, this is just for little girls that are like under the age of 8.
Yeah, I thought they were going to go back to like, what was it, Gen 3.5 or Gen 3 and 3.5. I thought that's what they were going to do.
And I will have to say things like Judgment Nay, that's absolutely geared towards bronies.
Yes.
That's not something that kids are going to understand. So they clearly have the brony audience in mind. And that's what I was concerned about, was that they were trying to like be like, all right, we're washing our hands of the brony fandom.
Yeah.
We want to do just this thing because our point is to sell toys for Hasbro, and we want to make it for little girls, but they made it enjoyable for everybody. And I think that, to me, that says a lot. I thought that I thought there was some, even though I think that the main plot of it, like the whole like thing, was a little bit thin, I thought that a lot of parts were done well, and I thought that the music was pretty, for the most part, done well. other than a few like super poppy, like, I thought it was on the whole like pretty good. Here are some things that I had in my notes that I did not get to talk about during this, and I want to bring them up.
Sure.
One of them was there's a dream catcher in Sunny's house. Does that mean American Indian culture exists in the pony world? What?
Oh,
all right.
that's
second off.
That's not bad.
I thought that the mouse with wings was hilarious, and then later the mouse flew.
That's right.
So apparently Pegasus is not just a race anymore. It's like everything in this land comes with wings. Because
it's an idea, Lusk. It's a concept.
Yeah, it was an idea.
There's a little white
bring
fluffy
together
dog,
a group
and
of
the wings are inside you, man.
Yep.
Next, in this iteration, cutie marks are only on the right flank.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know how I felt about that, just because, but whatever.
And I went back to make sure, but like I found photos where Pinkie Pie has her cutie mark on her left side and her right side in different angles. Yep. So I thought that was an interesting choice. I thought that gender distribution was much better on the whole here because I felt like in G4, there aren't a lot of dudes. Like there are definitely a lot of chicks and just a few amount of dudes. Like
season,
it's like Big Mac, Mr. Cake, Joe the Donut Guy. I'm running out of dudes. Who else?
Prince Blue Blood.
There you go. And it's not just Shining Armor.
And it's not just that, it's the quality. If we're just going from season 2, you've got a cool dragon, but gets beat up a lot. You've got Big Mac, who went from talking to not talking because memes, and then they gave him the whole cross-dressing episode, which I'm not saying like, they demasculated him. I'm not doing that, but it's like, they did kind of hit him with that. And then you have a cranky old man, you have a douchey, literally a douchey privileged white pony. You got a donut guy who shows up once. And I think I said cranky old man already, and Shining Armor, who's really cool.
Yeah. But
so what is that? A 2.5 out of 7?
There aren't a lot of dudes in that show. And I feel like in this one, it's closer to 50%.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot more sense because obviously these things procreate. Otherwise, how are there more of them? But
that was probably the idea too, because again, a lot of Friendship is Magic, they probably had decently mapped out already, but once from season 3 or 4 on, I noticed they did add some more variety of characters.
No, I agree.
This one from the
as it went on.
Yeah, this one from the get-go, you could tell there was an idea, and I think it's better for it. Not better than Gen 4, but I mean, like, I think the quality of the movie is better for it.
This is my last note that I didn't get to talk about. So whenever they did a close-up of a pony in this movie, their texture looked like a Muppet.
Yeah.
It looked like Kermit's face. Like, it was funny because from here down, it looked like, it's hair on a horse's foot or whatever. Whatever. But every time they were like here, it looked like the felt of like a Muppet. I thought that was really funny.
It's funny you point that out because I didn't write it in my notes, but I remember thinking at some point, I didn't bring it up, but I was thinking to myself, I'm like, fur doesn't look like fur.
No, it looks like a Muppet.
You're right. I didn't really notice it, but yeah, at the feet, it's real horsey.
It looks real there.
Yeah, but the rest of it, They kind of like, did you guys ever play Spyro on the old PS1? They kind of had a Muppet thing going on with their characters, especially with the big like flappy mouths. This movie kind of had that going for it too.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I will say,
MLP Dark Crystal crossover.
Well, Netflix owns the rights to the Dark Crystal, and now they kind of have this. So maybe.
Bro, dude, I know he's passed away, but bro, David Bowie in Equestria, let's do it.
That's the Labyrinth. That's not the Dark Crystal.
I don't care.
So, yeah, everything's looking good. We just did My Little Pony: A New Generation. As with everyone, have a wonderful night, bronies and Pegasisters. Peace out, dragon.
Adios.